Hey, good morning. What's up, guys? And thanks for tuning in and welcome to another weekly crypto market update. This is Setup Saturday. As always, I am here again with Freek, aka Zero Cool. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's been a very long time, a couple of months. Hello, hello.
It's been a very long time. So we took the summer off. How was your summer?
Relaxing. I did Europe
Relaxing.
for 6 weeks, I think. It was amazing. I had a good time, but I was glad to be home, honestly, after 6 weeks of Europe. It's quite different than Canada. I've grown accustomed to Canada.
But then, of course, you still traded crypto. I saw you every day in Discord. So
Less crypto, more normal stocks. Bit of a hiatus on crypto. I think I got a little burned out from, I don't know, it's all treasury companies, digital assets, treasuries, governments. It's not why I got into crypto, but doesn't mean that we cannot talk about it.
yeah, of course. So let's dive right into it. I don't know if you saw it, but just this night, actually, just yesterday, there was a new headline. So Trump, his tariffs, they got an appeal in the U.S. court.
I did see that, yeah.
So basically, what happened is, and I don't know if a court was allowed to do that, but basically, if a court deems the tariffs unconstitutional or illegal, they can just say, okay, the tariffs are gone, we stop them. But then the problem comes, and I've read into it a little bit, the problem then becomes that since it is illegal, they need to reimburse everyone that paid these tariffs. And at the moment, the tariffs are $159 billion, which is
Yikes.
a good amount. So actually, it's a good amount for the US that they took in as revenue. But imagine if they have to pay that back. That would be crazy.
Yeah, and it's probably not going to be like he'll fight this, obviously. So it will go on a while. That number will go up.
Yeah, so it will go to the Supreme Court, which will be October the 14th. So until then, the tariffs stay on, of course. But yeah, so I was thinking, okay, how will this affect the markets? And we all know, so I got this chart here, the trade war intensity versus how the S&P reacted. And basically, every time there were less tariffs, the stock market and the S&P, as you can see here, went up. So I think, well, let me make this clear. I don't think the Supreme Court will be able to just cancel all the tariffs. So I don't think it will happen. But imagine if it will happen, I think it will be good for Bitcoin because, of course, we got looser trade, we will have lower inflation, and then we will get more risk appetite. So if this passes, I think this will be good for Bitcoin. But I don't think it will.
I don't think it would pass either. I think I don't agree what they're doing, but I don't think legally they can fight it. Well, something to see, I guess.
Yeah, something to see how it unfolds. So, you guys, as always, this, in my opinion, isn't what drives markets. So, to me, the most single important driver of Bitcoin is the global liquidity. So, let's have a look at the global liquidity. So, let me zoom in maybe a little bit. So global liquidity rose by 425 billion last week. And it's mostly because of China. So the PBOC liquidity has moved up tremendously. We see Chris talking about in the Discord that China is bullish again. Chinese stocks are bullish again. It's because of the Chinese liquidity going up. As Michael Howell says, Chinese liquidity is good for the commodities and US liquidity is needed for financial markets. So and I think we see this happening. I see at the moment the US stocks, okay, S&P is at all-time high, but it's not going crazy. So I think we will have a slow period in Bitcoin and crypto because of the global liquidity not going up tremendously. You can see this here on the zoomed weekly global liquidity chart. You see July and August, it didn't really move up by that much. That's and it was to be expected. We always know the summer is slow. The summer, there's not much to do. We see this right now in global liquidity as well. And so why is this important? I talk about this week after week, but why is this important for the guys that are new here? basically Bitcoin and global liquidity are extremely correlated. So if global liquidity goes up, Bitcoin tends to follow with a 13-week lag. Let me zoom in this a little bit. And at the moment, so global liquidity went up a little bit. This is June, but afterwards it didn't really do anything. So you can expect now in September the price to just be stable and Bitcoin to just stop chop in September as market digest this low liquidity. So this makes me a little bit bearish, or let's say more neutral on Bitcoin at the moment.
Not to mention, everybody knows September is not a good month for crypto or Bitcoin in general, right?
Yeah, I will talk it a bit later. I got my slides ready of
seasonality.
I know you're not a big fan of it, but I have to show it with September starting. So
there's always an underlying reason why X month underperforms, right? And with September, there are, in my opinion, pretty good reasons on a global macro scale.
Yeah. So another thing I wanted to tell you guys, last week there was a premium Zoom call with Michael Howell for his paid subscribers. I was in it. So basically what he says was, let me show the global liquidity charts. Yeah, that should be good. And what he said was that the global liquidity cycle will most likely top early 2026, which will be let's say the end of January. And my point of view is that this is what drives Bitcoin, and that because of this, the Bitcoin markets and crypto markets will likely top in January. There was a lot of debate in the Discord that a lot of people say, yeah, it will most likely top in October because of the 4-year halving cycle. But I'm not really a fan of that. I think the global liquidity cycle has much more weight, much more importance than the halving cycle. But we'll see. I think this will be the first time in history that we will actually see which one will be more important, the 4-year halving cycle or the global liquidity cycle. So I'm really curious about that. What do you think about that?
If there's like a lag on it, because we know there's a lag on it, the basic model or the basis model is like 13 weeks. I think it's shrunk a little bit. That would put after January, right? That would mean end of Q1 that Bitcoin would top if it's like 13 weeks lag.
That's true, but I think the lead lag time is shrinking because a lot of people know about this, and especially near the end of the cycle, because nobody wants to keep holding the bag when the cycle top is there. So I think especially in Bitcoin and crypto, because the markets are so fast, it's not real estate, it's super liquid, so it goes so fast. So I think a lot of people will maybe even try to front run it. I don't think so, but
maybe
be wary of that.
A local top between September and October, and then like a Santa rally into the new year. And then what was the meme from ages ago when the Chinese New Year, I think, is at the end of January, and then all the Asians sell and the market tops.
That was the meme in 2017, 2018.
Yeah, that's been a while. And then the bankers get their bonuses for the year or something, and we start again.
Also, what I want to say about this, and mostly the interest rates, because there's a big decision coming on the 17th. So the first time in a long time, the US is, the market thinks the US will cut their interest rates. And it's a little bit controversial, but I don't think it is. I don't think this is necessarily good for Bitcoin, because like I said, liquidity drives markets. And with this enormous debt that we have, when you lower the interest rates, the amount of interest on the debt will be lower. Hence, there will maybe be less liquidity. So what I think is that in the short term, this will be good, because of course, lower interest rates will cause a weaker dollar, will increase risk appetite. But over the long run, this will cause a little bit less liquidity, which is the driver of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the monetary inflation hedge. But what I think is, this is very good, and I've explained this in my altcoin video. This is very good for altcoins. So what I think is that Bitcoin slowly topped for the cycle. Well, it didn't top, but I think now is getting more and more the time for altcoins to shine.
We've seen Ethereum, right? We've been preaching Ethereum on this channel for months. all the way down to, I don't know when it was, when we stopped streaming, 2.6K or something. We're finally nearly at 5K. Yeah, maybe a little blow off top there after the rate cuts.
Yeah. And so why are the odds now that high? Well, not that high. It has been higher, but more likely that we will see the rate cut is because of the Jackson Hole speech. So Powell, he basically said, and the Fed's messaging was that the labor market risk may outweigh inflation persistence. So that's why he kind of said it that they will most likely see so he says it here, Powell signals Fed preparing to restart rate cuts. And I think we will see a rate cut, but like I said, I'm not 100% sure this will be better for Bitcoin. The only thing which is good for Bitcoin, and I can show it right here, is the Bitcoin and gold correlation. So this was a video that I made as well a couple of months ago, is that when the right macro signals are good as well, that Bitcoin moves up with 90 to 180 lag on gold. So when gold moves, around 3 months after that, Bitcoin moves as well. And actually, yesterday, we saw gold making an all-time high. And
gold looks primed for another
gold,
leg up.
the gold looks very good. But this is also, like I said, Chinese liquidity is good for commodities. So when you see the PBOC printing like crazy, it's better for gold. And I think that's why we see gold making new all-time highs.
Yeah, it's the ultimate inflation hedge, right? And it's been lagging for years and years and years. And whoop, now it popped up and it looks prime for another leg.
Yep.
Bitcoin should follow.
Bitcoin should follow, yeah. Especially when, like I wrote here, the DXY is going down, yields are falling, liquidity is going up, but not by much, but it is going up. So normally these are the things needed for Bitcoin to follow gold. So we will see if that will happen. I think it will happen, but later, not now in September, maybe later, end of September. So we see about that. So
yeah, I'm more in the camp of we put in a local top, or already have put in a local top, and then we slumber down, and then we get the Centa rally into a new all-time high for the start of the year, which would kind of follow gold. If gold puts in a new leg up now, that would mean Bitcoin follows it after 3 months.
Yeah, it's all aligning a little bit. So global liquidity is lagging, but will probably move upwards later in the year. Interest rates are gonna come down. The gold lead lag, and then of course right now the seasonality that I want to talk about. So this is a research report from Bitwise, and as you can see here, Bitcoin seasonality. September is just the only negative month in Bitcoin's history. It's just like that. It always works. We can see it here live. Bitcoin is just the worst month. Sorry, September is just the worst month in Bitcoin's history. And
Yeah.
it's not only Bitcoin, it's also in the S&P. You can see it very clearly here. So the past 20 years, the past 10 years, it's always September that is the worst month, especially post an election year. September is not looking good. This chart shows it even better. This is where we are at the moment. And normally, post-election year, around September, we start to drop. This is the S&P. And as we know, Bitcoin and the S&P are extremely correlated at the moment. So let's hope this doesn't happen. But then again, this would align with what you say, chop down a little bit, and then we get the central rally, make new all-time highs, and get the alt season going.
Probably if we get an alt season, I think we're already seen at least an alt season with Ethereum going turbo ×2 in a month and a half. I think also the alt season would probably start in the window, the yellow frame here, and not into the new year like Bitcoin.
It's possible, and I think we might get an alt season if the ETFs are coming as well. The end of September, we'll see about that. I'm starting to allocate more and more to altcoins. and less to Bitcoin. So let's hope that works out. So maybe to give a little summary, I'll show my trading view screen. So what I think is everything is aligning, like I said. So what I think, we will chop down a little bit, and the cloud is just showing the same thing. So we will get here the bearish TK cross. We will probably trend towards the bottom of the cloud, which is not a lot. That's why I'm not extremely bearish. I'm more neutral, actually. I just think we will drop 3-4% because of the September seasonality, because of the rate cut will not do a lot for Bitcoin. Global liquidity not doing much. It will basically trend down a little bit. It didn't do anything July and August. And that's my view on the current market situation. So I'm not bearish, I'm not bullish, I'm just neutral. But because we know September is a bad month, especially post a US election year, I'm just gonna hold. I'm not gonna buy, I'm not gonna sell. I'm just gonna hold my stuff that I have at the moment, and then look to allocate towards the end of September more into altcoins.
Yep, makes sense. I can follow you in that. Besides the point that I've not really been trading crypto and more just normal stocks, which have been up only since April. There has been little to zero corrections. I did saw a tweet yesterday. I don't have it pulled up so I can show you, but it would basically summarized the amount of days since we had a 30% correction in Bitcoin. And it's been, or it is at an all-time high, as in 140 days or something, or 150 days, that we've seen a big-ass correction in Bitcoin. So I think it is due. I think if we do, we'll chop, but I think if we get a down draw, it's going to be way more than 4 or 5%. And we can map some targets out later, what that would look like.
Yeah, but go ahead. I'm done with my part. So
yeah,
you can...
I'll just start with like more the macro view first. So we are in that past halving window. Normally, historically, it peaks 16 to 18 months. That would be between August and October. And then for me, we have two important dates coming up on the macro side. That's job revisement. They did that a couple of months ago. Trump went absolutely berserk and fired the person who was in charge of putting out the numbers. Obviously, firing the person has nothing to do with it. Has no impact on the numbers. It's just another Trump thing that Trump does. But yeah, on Friday, the 5th of September, they're doing another revisement. And I think it is a big revisement, not as in the numbers wise that they're going to do, but the period they're doing, I think they're doing it for like a year and a half. Well, the last time they did a job number revisement where Trump went berserk over, that was only for like 2 or 3 months that they revised. So I think this could be a big macro event that crypto Twitter is not aware of. I do remember the stock market reacting to the negative revisement, because last time they revised it down from like 200,000 new jobs to actually it was we only lost there's like 230,000 people working less, and they revised it actually it's more like 200,000 people. So if we get a big shock in employment, which is the core of everything, I think it always starts with how many people are employed. If we get a big revisement in that, I think the market could react on that. And then 12 days after, on the 17th, we have the FOMC meeting, where finally they're expecting a rate cut. After months we've been saying, they're gonna cut this meeting, they're gonna cut this meeting. They never cut. Powell is being very stubborn on that, again pissing off Trump, calling him to get fired, blah blah blah. But yeah, rate cuts is expected the 17th, and everything in between here, it's like a good place to put in a top if we haven't already topped. So maybe a little bit like this, and then boop, down only for a while, for a month, 2 months, into that Santa rally, which normally starts like mid-November, I think, even sometimes early November into December. Then they have the actual Santa rally up to the new year. So that's on the macro view. We got into this discussion, or going to the trading view of my screen, of the ranges I was talking about. And I need to group up the other screen. I think it is this one or this one. There we go. Yeah. the last couple of months I've been starting the stream with, hey guys, we're still in a range. That was this longest period. And we finally broke out of the range in this summer. Yay. So let's call it a new range. We are in a new range. And as always, just play level to level, right? If we think this is the top of our range, we are now testing the top of our range. It's a perfect place to be bullish, or at least not short. I think if you take open interest here, open interest yesterday on this leg down was increasing insanely. People were shorting the hell out of it. This is not the place to short. I think this is a valid place to look for longs. It's the top of the previous range that we've been in for almost a year. And maybe it doesn't hold, but this is where I would look for longs, and then play range to range. This is your range. Now this is your range. And then if we start closing below the 90,000 level, if we start closing here, then yeah, I'm afraid these lows are not safe here. And then we're aiming for 80, below 80. Do I expect that we're going below 80? No, but this is a range you need to play, right? So 3 ranges to play with, and I was saying, if we do go down sideways, I do think it's been a while since we had a 30% drop. Or you look at that. We go from current prices to all the way to the bottom, these lows here. That happens to be 30%.
I think this is the scenario that if you believe in the 4-year halving cycle, it will actually start, I think, mid-October. So then this will most likely play out, but which I don't. But if you do, then that's your scenario.
I think these are levels you need to have on your charts. These are levels where you need to set alarms for. And quick tip, if you put an alarm, I'm not sure if the stream can show it, if you put an alarm on it. Just now it has an alarm. If it goes off, you'll have an alarm go off at 98,800, and you'll be like, huh, a Bitcoin alarm, cool, and you just ignore it. You put an alarm in TradingView, you always need to write a message why you put this alarm here. It's like, this is the middle of the range. This could bounce. Look closely for an entry. Then I get an alarm that says, hey, this is the middle of the range, this could bounce, look closely for an alarm, and I'm instructed what to do, and then I'll do it. Just don't put a plain alarm on TradingView, because if you have 50 alarms, you don't know what you put that alarm for. I've had that in the past, that's why I'm doing it like this now. So put alarms on these ranges on the bottoms. If you put an alarm like Bitcoin is under 80,000, buy. If we ever get to 80,000, your first instinct would be like, oh no, it's over. We went down 30, 40%. It's game over. I'm never buying here, but your alarm's telling you to buy. And that is your system. You need to follow your system. And your system will tell you, this is a good place to buy. And your gut, your feelings will tell you, oh no, it's horrible. It's all over. You won't feel to buy, but your system tells you to buy, so you buy. And those are the best entries. Because trust me, 95% of your traders don't have systems in place, and they don't have a system that tells you here you should buy. They'll trade with feeling, and your feeling will say, oh, it's pure fear, doom, it's all over, and they'll sell. And that's where you buy, and that's how you make the most money. You have a system in place and you follow it. And that's it sounds super easy, but it is definitely not easy. Yeah, that's it for Bitcoin for me. We can go a little bit deeper on a lower time frame later to look for an entry, but just mark out the levels you are interested in, put alarms. With those alarms, write messages why you are interested in this area, and TradingView will tell you if your alarm expires, and just renew it for another, I think it goes 30 days, 90 days. Just renew it.
Yeah. Well, it's up to you if you want to do some TA on lower time frames. Go ahead.
Maybe we'll look at Ethereum. Quick look, because we've always been Ethereum bulls, but during our break it went down a lot, and then it went down up even more. So let's pop on Ethereum. Clean charts. First thing I see, this looks like a hyperbolic acceleration. It goes like this. Now my chart my line was already broken. Yeah, it looks like hyperbolic acceleration, and you expect the last leg up before crumbling down, but it's a little sketchy. The reason why we've been going up so hard, so I think we've gone up like, what was it? Almost double in 2 months' time, is because of those digital assets treasury companies, and then mainly Tommy Lee buying a metric ton of Ethereum. And for me, I'll have a very quick and clear stance on all those treasure companies. That's how you create another bear market. Something happens on macro level, the trend reverses. One company needs to delever and sell crypto, and then that causes another company to sell crypto, and that causes another company to sell crypto, and you end up in a spiral that just puts enormous pressure, and that's how the system breaks, and you get a 50% down leg on almost all cryptos. That's very worst case doom scenario, but I absolutely believe that is possible. They all have to sell. They're not Michael Saylor that can diamond hands through minus billions of dollar down draw. I think it's not a good thing for crypto, and it's very against the ethos that crypto is set up for. It's also mainly the reason why I'm slowly starting not to lose interest in crypto. I still think it's a super interesting market, but why I started in crypto is absolutely 100% against what is happening now. And companies like Coinbase will change the world with how crypto is integrated, which is good, and which one of the reasons why I started to take interest in it, because of the technology. But it's not why I joined crypto. The treasure companies pumping it, the government pumping it, Trump being involved in it. It's kind of against what we joined, or the cryptographers were standing for when they cooked this up. But other than that, Ethereum looks quite good, right? We put in an all-time high. Kind of reminds me of Solana, where like dipped our toe below all-time high. I was like, oh no, rejected. Again, just mark this level up here. We revisit it above 4.8K. Just put an alarm here. If we get back here, we're gonna put on another leg towards, what was it, 5.8 to 7.2, I think. Put some Fibonacci's on there. But yeah, this has been up only with little drawbacks. This is like the only drawback. This is like a mini drawback. If this corrects, this is a range. This is a range. I would look for the bottom of this range, like around 3.4, and then below 3K for a wick in here. Below 3K, I have bids here in this range, 2.7 to 2.4. I have bits with a little bits above to 3K as well. A nice wick down, consolidation, and continue with a center rally. That's about it for me for Ethereum. I know we didn't go as deep as other episodes. It's been a while. We still need to get our groove back on. But yeah, that's a very quick summary / rants about crypto and Ethereum.
Yeah, let's maybe do our predictions like we do always. Let me show my screen. All right. So we didn't. So we stopped basically the 15th of June. So let me start, and let's put our score back to 0. So let's start over again. What I'm thinking is what I just said when I was explaining why I thought it is. I think we're just gonna range down a little bit. I think we're gonna go to the bottom of the range, maybe not that drastically, maybe here. So let me say that we will be at 104, 105, let's say, by next Saturday. So small drop.
Okay.
What do you think, Circo?
Yeah, For people who are new, every week at the end of the stream, we're like, oh, we're going to predict where the price is Saturday. Let me emphasize this. It's very hard to predict the exact price in the next weekend because a lot can happen. And it is more of following the trends than guess the exact price. But yeah, trend seems to be down. So I agree. We still haven't had a bearish TK cross there. That's the blue and red line above the clouds. And it hasn't flipped bearish yet. I don't know what you're measuring.
No, so the Tenkan is 20 days, the average of the last 20 days price action, and the Kijun is the last 60 days. So you can basically measure when they will start to cross. I think they will cross soon. But yeah, go ahead. So what do you think?
Where am I thinking? It's very hard to say. I'm gonna be a bit lower than you. Put it on 103. Yeah, not that much. Very close to 103. Yeah. Sorry. Actually, no. We'll have swiped that low. Make it 101. Yeah. Think something breaks. Maybe not this week. Maybe next week on revisements. I'll keep that in mind. But I think we sweep that lower under the 100K. Like we wick down during the weekend and we slowly do a little bounce into 101.
All right. Yeah, just like Freek said, it's basically just a fun game we play at the end of the stream to think where the price is going to be next week. It's not that we trade based on this. I trade more in swing trades, like I said, based on the macro. And as I said, I will just hold my positions here. I'm not going to day trade this. Maybe Zero Cool is going to do it, but I won't.
Haven't been day trading in a while, honestly. Not since this summer before I left for Europe. I'm also more of a swing trader, like mark your levels and put alarms and then allocate there. But yeah, down. It's slowly trending down. I don't think there's anything big coming up this coming week on the macro that could push this up or down. So just slowly trending down, I think. Maybe a little sweep of that 90 or 100,000. And then probably algorithms will kick in below 100,000, I think.
All right, let's leave it here. So as always, Zero Cool, thank you very much for coming on. So as always, we will continue to do this every Saturday at 2 p.m. If you guys want to talk with us during the week, we have a Discord, so it's linked in the description. As always, thanks everyone for watching. So I see G Armo is in chat, so glad to see you back. So we'll see you all next week, and thanks for joining. And yeah, thanks, you're cool. And bye,
no
everyone.
problem. Bye, guys.